So now I would request Ms. Ritika. Ms. Ritika, can you please help us to know how do you think children can balance between curiosities, exploring things, and safety?
So thank you for introducing that to me, Ramya. I will begin by the role of us as parents and as teachers. This entire scenario of how to behave online, or what is the meaning of online presence. Because if we just assume that a child will be able to navigate his or her way in the online world without us guiding them, I think that is setting a very, very wrong expectation. Just imagine this. When a child goes out for the first time to the market to shop something for themselves or for the family, don't we give them a multitude of instructions? Make sure that you are walking straight, and make sure that you look left and right when you cross the roads. Make sure that you look at the signal if you're at a signal. Don't talk to strangers and don't give out information. So we tell the child various informations and instructions when they're venturing into a new world or a new experience. The same goes for the online world as well, because we are equipping them with a very powerful medium, a powerful tool, and we want the children to be present there. It's not like we don't want them to have an online presence. There's a lot, in fact, going forward, everything right from school admissions to higher education admissions to even job placements, everything will have some element of background check through the online medium. So it's a very powerful medium, and we want to use our children to be there and use it. But there has to be certain hand-holding that has to happen. So if I come to our role as parents, through the life or through the journey of a child, as a parent, we have to play different roles at different times. In the ages 0 to 5, 0 to 6, or when the child is just born, our role is that of intervention. By intervention, I mean that unless we give food to the child, or we bathe them, or we clean them, or we do things for them, nothing will work. So we are an intervener in their life in the early years. When a child reaches age 7, that's when they start distinguishing themselves as distinct from the rest of the world. So this concept of I, me, starts developing. So this awareness of aham takes an akar, and that makes it ahankara. I'm not using this word ahankara in a negative light. What I mean to say is this knowledge of self and this realization of my ego, me, myself, is very powerful. And we want to support our children at that time by ensuring that we can give them the right vocabulary to speak their emotions, share their emotions. And that will only happen once if we are open in sharing our own emotions with the kids. So around age 7, that is what we essentially need. When a child comes to adolescence around age 13 and 14, then our role changes. At that point, we are at the role of supporting their creativity, supporting their curiosity, letting them know that it is okay to be curious, because physiologically they're going through so many changes, emotionally, chemically, there's so much going on. So we as parents need to take a step back and be empathetic and let them explore their creativity and not cull it. Maybe some of our children, or as parents, we may be worried that children are expressing their creativity or their expression in a way which doesn't sit well with us, and that will happen to us as parents. But that is where we have to keep control over our own thoughts and beliefs and let them explore, because once they see that we have that trust in them, it will be a two-way thing, right? So they will see us trusting them, and on the other side, they will then be able to trust us and share things with us. So this is the age, the adolescent age, where we want the child to open up to us. And this will not happen overnight. If we wake up tomorrow and our child is already 13 and 14 and we start building that relationship now, we've already missed the boat, right? So it starts right from the beginning, right from day one, when we are trying to get them to be okay with their emotions, whether it is anger, whether it is anything that we classify as positive emotion. we have to help children verbalize them, we have to help them navigate them, and be okay with them, even if it is something like anger or boredom or stress, anything. So this is how our role is transforming. And when you say that how should we help children navigate their creativity and curiosity, I think as parents, the best that we can do is support them and guide them. If we think that we can color their thoughts and their behavior in the way that we want and we expect, I think we will lose the battle, and in the process we'll also lose the trust of our children. The next stage, of course, is another 7 years. If you think children are at the age of 20, 21, then our role again changes. Then our role is that of somebody who's involved in their life. We are no longer intervening. Hopefully we don't intervene when our kids are at 21 year of age. We obviously don't want to be interfering, but we want to be available and we want to be involved in their life. So I think that's one thing that we need to keep in mind in terms of our own evolving role. Coming to the online medium, the things that the parents need to be really aware of is the number one thing, which I have seen that it doesn't really cross a parent's mind, is the digital footprint that a child is creating while they're online. So if we have to help our children balance their curiosity, their creativity, and all of that online, we must first empower them with the knowledge that whatever you do online has a digital footprint. It's not like you're sending out information in a black hole and it doesn't matter because it's not the real world. The real world and virtual world are not two separate planets. It is part of our life and it is very much intertwined with what we do in our real day-to-day interaction. So we need to empower ourselves and our children with the knowledge that your digital footprint is there to stay forever. You cannot remove anything on the digital medium completely. Any like, any comment, any share, any information, any picture that you reveal is going to stay there for good, and you have to be prepared for the consequences. So I think that is the first thing that I would think that we need to do to empower our children in the right direction. Within these norms, we need to then let them be and let them explore their curiosity, creativity. I think the second thing is when we say, what do we expect in terms of behavior? Now, why should we expect anything different in terms of our behavior online from our children than we do in real life? In real life, we expect our children to be respectful. We expect them to, include others and not exclude. We expect them to use good language and not use foul language. So the expectation has to be the same even on the online world, and we have to communicate that over and over again, that this is not two separate worlds. This is part of your life. This is part of the persona and an extension of your persona online, and you have to ensure that there is basic hygiene that you maintain in that, and friendly banter and things like that is all okay, and we have to ensure that we don't put fear in the minds of our children. But we have to say that there is definitely, if you're if stalking is wrong and it's criminal in real life, it is very well criminal in the online life as well. If bullying somebody, and I'll come to the topic of bullying in detail next, but if that is wrong in the real life, then it is also wrong and same with exclusion, right? If somebody is deliberately excluding someone online, then it is wrong and it has to be addressed. So and coming to things like the boys locker room, of course, sharing morphed photographs, morphing anybody's photographs, or misusing anybody's photographs, whether it's real life or online, these are criminal acts, and to me this is a grave situation. So there should be no gray area, I feel, in the minds of children. And if there ever is a gray area in their mind, they will only come to us for answers if they trust us. So I again circle back to the point that if that trust is built over a period of time, over the first 13-14 years of life, there are chances that the child will come back to you and ask for clarification if there is a gray area and they don't know if they are crossing the line towards the wrong side. So that's something that I definitely want to share. Yeah.
So just to brief, I'm sure that most of us, and as parents, we need to build that trust since the early ages of a child. We need to show them that yes, we trust them. We believe in them, and whatever they are doing, it has to be, they should share it with us, because we will guide them the right way, not the wrong way. Also, when they go to the adolescent age, we need to become their as a friends. We don't have to interfere in what they are doing, but yes, we need to make sure that they should share everything with us, and we need to become a friendly, it has to be a friendly atmosphere between a parent and a child. Then only they'll come to us believing in us that yes, whether they are asking us or not, and whatever they are doing is on the right track or they are following the wrong track. So one more question, Ms. Ritika. As you work with a lot of parents and teachers, do you think they are able to clear the common myths? And what, according to you, would be the common myths?
I think one of the biggest myth that I would talk about is this understanding of what bullying is, and what is the definition of bullying. Um, I think what is happening largely is that we throw around this B word, the bullying word, very lightly and casually. And this is something which I want to bring to light here as to the myth around bullying or what it is. By definition, bullying is a power struggle. So it is basically somebody who is socially or physically more powerful or feels that they are more powerful, and they are exerting that power over somebody who they can manipulate. There are different kinds of differentiations. There's a hot bully, there's a cold bully. The hot bully is outright physically abusive and verbally abusive. A cold bully is more manipulative, so they wouldn't really say out loud or do things out loud, but they put the victim in a situation or somebody in a situation where they feel victimized. So in my mind, the first myth that we need to clear is what is mean behavior versus what is bullying. Children by nature tend to be mean to other children every 2 to 3 minutes. So let that sink in. Okay, it is the way a child's brain evolves, right? If I'm a child and I want a toy that is in somebody else's hand, I may feel it is justified that I'll pull it out of their hand and yank it out, but that's okay because my empathy is not developed as such, right? So I'm not really considering the repercussions of what I'm doing and how it is impacting the other person. So this is mean behavior and it's not really bullying. So we have to understand that there has to be a clear power struggle happening between two people to call it bullying, and it has to be a repeated behavior, not a one-off behavior where somebody did something and then we tag them as a bully. Bullying, the act of bullying itself, or the act of doing something to intentionally harm somebody, and that repeated behavior is what constitutes as bullying. Now I come to the second part of labeling children. Sometimes when we are throwing away this word, we're using this word called bullying so casually, we don't realize that we end up putting these labels on our children. It could be my child, it could be my neighbor's child, but it doesn't matter because labels can be self-fulfilling prophecies. What may happen is that if we repeatedly say this, oh, you are bullying that friend of yours, or oh, you're such a bully, when we use this word and throw it around so casually, how it registers in a child's brain and how they actually want to then associate with that particular identity is where what we need to stop and we need to cull. And this is where, as parents, I want to really emphasize that using your words carefully and not throwing around these labels casually is a very, very important thing. So the second thing is labels are self-fulfilling prophecies, and they should definitely be very careful. The third myth that I feel is very much existent in parents is that if my child is a generally well-behaved child and is not a bully in real life, then they can't be a bully in the online world either. Now, I do agree that if as parents we've been doing all our, our responsibilities, we've been sort of doing these things through ages 0 to 14, like I mentioned before, of course there are chances that my child, if they are well behaved in real life, then they will not turn into a monster online. At least that's the hope. But there is nothing stopping them from having or wanting to explore a different persona. Again, that can come from suppressed emotions. If they've not been able to share their emotions with everybody, or with their parents or somebody who they trust, then this may come out in a different way.